So let's see what is going on. I see a lot of movement around you. These two are movement. In particular, this is physical movement. This can be a car, this can be a house. Some of you may be going on a holiday that involves a car and a house. Some of you may be looking at a new house or a new car. Some of you may be moving to a place that offers a better energy. There's a little bit of something going on in the background here with the 3 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. These two have a slight more tension about them, whereas these two have a much more harmonious gelling together. And it's interesting that they're in the middle and these are on the outside. It's almost as if something on the outside of whatever you've been doing or feeling or experiencing, possibly with others, is making you ponder this feeling in the middle. Some of you, this is leaving things behind. Some of you, it's a fear of moving into a better place or space. You feel it may not exist or that you aren't sure how to get there. Let's just take it back a little bit and go one step at a time, because those were the messages that jumped out instantly. The 3 of Swords can often mean 3 people are involved. It can be a love triangle, so that's the intimate relationships. It can also be when 3 people of any type of relationship are involved, and sometimes this can be business. So when it says heartache and loss, the card quite often does mean this, that something in a relationship will be tense and there's this feeling of lack of flow, and this can create this feeling of the 8 of Swords being trapped or not included or not shown all the answers, so that you can't see the whole picture. Some of you feel as if you've been kept in the dark, or you haven't been able to express yourself in particular, perhaps to others, but also to yourself. You're either hiding part of the picture, you're not facing part of something, there's something that you wish you could change, that you haven't had the strength to do so yet. But this is, of course, the Chariot card, which in essence is strength. This is inner strength returning, and it's recreating harmony and happiness within a house. So if any of you have been involved in a relationship where there were 3 people, there could be a healing of this, and it can take place through communication. So mediation with other people can be helpful, but also actually communicating with the people involved. So not being afraid to speak up and not being trapped in fear. You have to step out of this imprisonment and be self-motivated and come back into the reality of here and deal with the present objects or things that are in the way, like whether it's people or physical things or health related things or emotional. These two are very emotional cards here, and they're emotional pain of some sort. Now, this can also be physical pain, and it can be physical heart pain. This could be your own heart or an area of that part of the body. So the chest type area, and it can be lungs, it can be women's breasts. So having a mammogram is a good idea for some of you. Also having a heart health checkup, getting your diet re-established. She's also, her heart is down here in the stomach area, which is not where it's meant to be. It's meant to be up here. So I sometimes think of this part of the body may have some sort of disorder as well that needs re-acclimatizing or needs some sort of balance bringing back in. And it may be tied to a heart emotional trauma that has come through into this part of the body and created some sort of itis. And itis is inflammation. So it could be colitis or inflamed, like a hepatitis or colitis or colonitis or appendicitis. Some things like that can often be associated with our emotional state of our health, because emotions play a very big part in the physical role that our body ends up in. For some of you, if it's not your heart health or your body health, then it may be the health of someone close to you, either an older relative or a partner, and they may need support and help, and you may be finding this quite difficult at this time or time consuming. Some of you may have recently lost someone very close to you from a heart related or a chest related disorder. If it is an emotional thing and we're talking about relationships that you would like to have healed, then apply the use of communication, because it can be very worthy in this instance when this card turns up. At other times, this is about letting go and letting the situation move on. Whatever the relationship was with you and this other person or other people, then parts of it have served their purpose, and it's a time to move on to better things. And that's where these two come into play. The Triumph card is exactly that. This is regaining some sort of feeling of strength, of inner dominion, of ploughing forward, of moving ahead. So if you've been stuck in a glitch or stuck in a rut of some sort, emotional rut or physical rut or relationship rut, these two cards bode very, very well for positivity and moving forward out of a rut. And the rut could have had self-inflicted fears involved in it, like your own self-torment about what's going on with this other person, or what are they seeing or doing, or who are they reacting with, or why am I feeling this way? Why am I worried about things? And it doesn't just have to be personal relationships. This could be business relationships as well. You might have been thinking, I can't seem to make this work. This business isn't tying together, or I haven't got the commitment, or I haven't got the energy, or I haven't got the health at the moment to push. But something's changing in the middle. It's coming back to some sort of ebb and flow of more positive energies. There's a surgence or a resurgence of some vitality or energy that's coming from within. Now, there's something that came to me earlier, and it was the words deep focus. So somehow you need to apply deep focus to something in your life that is requiring either an answer or an input from yourself. And it might be regards this inner power returning of the Chariot energy. It might be regards moving, shifting, taking on a new job, having a new car as part of the job, travel as part of this whole package or journey as well. The foundations and achievements, a lovely word for the card. It also bodes very well for happy families or a happy home environment. So if some of you have had an unhappy home, whether it be a physical problem with the house that needed fixing, or has had stress issues in the property, this could be clearing. It could be you could have been on a ley line. You could have had karmic issues that could be about to be lifted one way or another. There could be some healing work coming through to alleviate tensions that may have been in a house, a property, or in the people that have lived in it. Some of you may have lived in a home where it has had many lifelines of linear history in it through family generations. This could be being healed through this timeline that's open at the moment. For others of you, you might be able to finally move into a different house for various reasons. You may have got a new job. You may be shifting state. You may have sold your other house. You may have finally found enough money for a deposit for a house. This card can also be the talking about blended families coming together. So if you have been separated for any reason from family members, there can be a rehealing and a reharmony of that. Family members visiting or you visiting them. This can also signal potentially engagements, attending weddings, christenings, and happy events as well. So there's a real dichotomy going on in the four cards, and they seem to have positioned themselves, as I said, on the outer. There's this outer energy vibrating in the background over here, but there's also this positive stuff with the higher vibrational energy in the center. And being centered and together, they have much more strength because they're actually separating this discourse that's over here. So this discourse is being weakened. It's dropping off. Even if it's if something's been going on here with three people, and you've wished it wouldn't be, or you were part of it, it may be ebbing away and falling aside, which may drop these fears or anxieties here as well. So that's what we got from the John Holland. A lot of information pouring out of these cards. I could go on and on even with more, especially about this one, because this one is your biggest card and as such, because it's the major arcana, and given that it's, you know, right after this eclipse, there's a lot of energy and meaning behind the intensity, the power and the passion of this triumph card. I also note the horse there, so some of you may have something to do with horses, but it might be more of a metaphysical determination that's coming in. So this could be a spirit guide, or there could be answers for you in the way of the horse energy, and that might be something some of you can look into. But he has a great degree of movement, success, determination and triumph. So take that on board, especially if there's been these things going on in the background. This card will overpower that type of energy. These cards, I think, are quite good for right now. They're quite pertinent. They are numerology cards. So we will just see what comes for Pisces for this numerology deck for February. And we will see kind of what messages pop out with them as well. There's a couple jumping out. I'm not going to turn them over yet. I'm going to make you wait. Okay, this is for Pisces. Have you got any more numerology cards for them? Oh, there we are. Effort. And I think we could see a little bit of effort was required. I perhaps shouldn't have turned them back over. I think we could see a little bit of effort was required, especially around these two, the 3 and the 8. You know, but as I said to you, I feel as though the effort that you're putting into it will come out through a positive emanation in the Triumph card. And you know, this beautiful yellow permeating in the background is also the yellow of this card. And this is number 13, so it's number 4. So you've got 2 4s at the moment. And it's saying to make sure that you maintain effort. You remember how I said before there was a message that came to me about deep focus? So something in your life really is requiring some effort and some deep focus for you at this junction point at the beginning of this brand new decade. And I think it's really worth tapping into seeing what is it in my life that I need to focus, deep focus on, because the deeper you go, especially through meditation and exploration and with applied effort, the more triumph you will make and the more success you will have. So let's see what these other 2 are that were sitting down here. Teaching and learning, 57. 5 and 7 is 13. So another 4. So now we've got 3 4s, and of course we've got an 8 in here as well, and we've got another 3. So we've got a lot of repetitive energies of the 3s and the 4s coming through. The 3 is the Trinity number, so there is a Trinity aspect involved in here, and it is teachings. And of course it is learning. Now for some of you this could be quite pertinent in as much as that you may be looking at teaching in a form of one way or another, becoming a healer or a teacher yourself. And for others you will be going through a mode of learning, perhaps learning a whole new understanding of where you're at in life, or learning new modalities or new educational systems or new philosophies. Whichever one it is for you, then know that it will be well worth applying this deep focus for your teaching and learning. What's the last one? Here, so 33, more of the 3s and more of the 4s. So lots of 3s showing through. And I did tell you a little bit earlier about the power of communication. So communication is obviously going to be quite supportive for you, but I also think it could be how you go through quite a lot of your teaching and learning. Whether you are teaching others, which is via communication, or you are learning, it's also via communication, because communication is both written and verbal, and it's also listening and speaking and being heard and hearing. So a lot of stuff just tying in, going around in circles now at this point with the cards that have turned up. So I think we will move to the last deck, which is this deck of cards by Nari Anastasia, who is an Australian. And we will just see what comes out here for you guys. These are very deep spiritual messages, so they could take a little bit of time to focus into and to sit with, just quietly and meditate upon. This is for Pisces, so what would you like them to be focusing on? And I think one is enough for the reading. Let go, and it's number 19. So what I will do for you is I will focus that card in, and then I will read to you from the book, because the words are very powerful in their own way. It is time to relinquish your need for control and let the leaves fall as they may. If you have drawn this card, it is time to relinquish your need for control and release your tight grip on how you think the world and everyone in it should be. Letting go is an emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental process of releasing yourself to the universal spirit of love. It's giving up your need to control the outcome of every situation and the control of the people you hold most dear. This period can be challenging in many ways, and Spirit asks you to have faith. Have faith that the universe will guide you and send forth the outcomes that are needed for your journey. We understand that you have been this way for a long time, and this need for control stems from your youth, when hurt, disorder, and instability was felt. Spirit understands your need for caution, but holding on and controlling every aspect of your life is taking its toll. Hanging on so tightly does not bring the outcomes you desire. Instead, it serves to repel all that you cling so tight to. Your soul longs to be free and dance through the winds of change. If you deny this part of you, the freedom to play, the universe will send the right situation or person to help unlock that free-spirited child in you. This may come at a time not suited to your plans and may leave you feeling vulnerable and confused. Dear one, it is time. It is time to let go. Letting go of your need to control will set you and others free. And there's a mantra that you can use for this. It is, Great Spirit, please give me the strength to let go all that I cling to. Divinely guide my thoughts, words, and actions with love and understanding. And the associated chakra is the solar plexus. So there we are, Pisceans. It's a great time to let go as we embark on this brand new journey of a decade. Let go of the past decade, of the teens, of the 2010s to 19s. Let go of that energy. It is hard for a lot of us as we embark into the unknown, into these surging, fast-paced 20s. But hold nothing in fear. Hold it rather in the energy and the pulse of love, and know that the universe does have control, and have faith in that walking through the doorway energy and dropping off that which doesn't suit you anymore, whatever that may be for you personally.